Yes.
He passed away, that motherfucker. Well, he became a mailman. So the mailman should have got man in the outside, so fuck him up. But then after that, he.
I'd like to get started by thanking the Warriors United in Arms, Brownsville. They're going to present the colors, and they've come out to the program today to show us their flag that they brought actually from Saigon and Vietnam. So please take a look at that before you leave.
Where do we sit? Hey, what's the sitting arrangement?
This is wherever. Oh, for the 8 states. Yeah, it was starting over here with the 6 states.
90s.
Order! Arm! Right face! Forward! March!
Now I'll lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now I'd like to ask our port chaplain to come up and give the invocation.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, blessing and honor and glory, power and dominion belong to you. We are here today to say goodbye to a great instrument of war, the USS Kitty Hawk, by which you have guaranteed our peace in a free and noble land. All nations bear the sword for good or evil. We today give thanks that this nation, under God, has carried this good weapon at her side for 48 years on the oceans of the world. You have been with her going out and coming in from 1961 to 2009. You have heard the prayers and curses of all that have served on her and with her. You were on her decks in '63 when President Kennedy visited and wrote to the President of Taiwan, "I hope you were impressed, as I was, on my visit to Kitty Hawk, with the great force for peace of all war which these mighty carriers and their accompanying escorts provide, helping to preserve the freedom of distant nations in all parts of the world." She served from '66 to '72 in the waters off Vietnam and was twice awarded Presidential Unit citations for exceptionally meritorious and heroic service in response to the Tet Offensive for actions against vital military targets in North Vietnam. She was in the North Arabian Sea in '79 during the Iran hostage crisis. In '84, she was part of Allied exercises in the Sea of Japan, catching a piece of a Soviet sub shadowing her. She served off the coast of Somalia in '92 to support Operation Restore Hope, and went on to enforce the no-fly zone over Iraq. In '98, she left San Diego to take up her station as America's forward deployed aircraft carrier operating from Yokosuka in Japan. To 9/11, she was in the North Arabian Sea for Operation Enduring Freedom and serving as a base for the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment. In 2003, she supported Operation Iraqi Freedom in the Persian Gulf and spent 110 continuous days at sea. In 2008, she stood guard off the coast of China during the Taiwan election, and afterwards made one of the last visits to Hong Kong. We are here to recognize and celebrate her service and to honor and give thanks for the generations who served on her over 48 years, and the families that supported, loved, and prayed for them on every assignment. You, Lord, are the strength of all faithful and skilled warriors who bear the sacrifice of extended service over generations. It is by your Spirit that they are enabled, guided, comforted, and fired to undaunted service and sacrifice. We, today, have come to lay to rest this platform of war and peace, the Kitty Hawk, that you gave to preserve our calling, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We live on in that spirit with new platforms from which to serve. For those gathered here today who served on or with the U.S. Kitty Hawk, we say goodbye to a dear and faithful friend, but not to the memories or fraternal bonds that we have forged that go beyond the grave. We say farewell, yet her spirit of honor, service, and devotion lives on in us, for the remaking of her earthly frame will never take from us the life she lived and the calling she honored. In your Son, you showed us that the true, honorable, and perfect is not corrupted by the grave, but lives on eternal. So too we rejoice in that which lives on in us through the service of the USS Kitty Hawk, and ask that your grace, blessing, honor, and dominion would remain with us and our nation as we say farewell to this faithful fortress of arms through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. So, I'm not going to give any long speeches. We have a couple of distinguished guests that would like to say a few words. I just wanted to assure you that as the President of International Shipbreaking, we are going to make every effort to make our recycling operations as respectful as possible to the men and women who served our country on board the Kitty Hawk. And with that, I would like to introduce our first speaker. It is going to be County Judge Eddie Trevino.
Good morning. How are y'all doing today? I feel a lot of sentiment here this morning. I'm sure, first of all, welcome to Cameron County and to our amphitheater. We are honored to be able to host this event for such a unique and special event. I'm sure many of you sailors and veterans have mixed emotions, especially those of you who had the honor of serving on Kitty Hawk. I happened to be talking to a few people when I saw a couple of sailors recognize each other after years. And it was a beautiful sight to see. I'm sure that's been going on quite a bit this morning. On behalf of a grateful nation, we want to thank each and every one of you for your service to our country. Let's please give a round of applause to our veterans. I mentioned to Chris that his timing was almost perfect because anything better today would have been if we could have held the ceremony yesterday. Yesterday, obviously, Memorial Day reminds us of the ultimate sacrifice that those men and women paid for our country, for our freedoms. And it's, of course, so unique. Oops. Do we have any sandbags? Better make sure. Let's make sure that that doesn't happen over here, Commander. Thank you. All right. Abraham Lincoln said, "Honor to the soldier and sailor everywhere who bravely bears his country's causes. Honor also to the citizen who cares for his brother in the field and serves as best he can the same cause. Honor to him and her, less only than to him who braves for the common good, the storms of heaven and the storms of battle." The distinguished career of the Kitty Hawk comes to a close here today, and we're honored to all be able to participate on its final voyage. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us here today, and on behalf of a very grateful country, we thank each and every one of you for your service, and in particular, those who had the honor and privilege of serving on the USS Kitty Hawk. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless these United States of America.
Thank you, Judge Trevino, and thank you so much for letting us use the park today. This is a beautiful location to have a ceremony, and I remember last time with the Independence when she came through, had an old oyster bar here, so now we've got this beautiful amphitheater, and we'll be able to watch her come right here in front of us. She'll come right up the channel behind. So our next speaker is Ms. Sofia Benavidez, County Commissioner for Precinct 1.
Good morning, and welcome to our beautiful amphitheater this morning. Thank you, Chris, Mr. Barry, and your staff for putting this special event together today alongside the port and the county. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here to pay our respect and to respectfully bid farewell to such an important part of U.S. military history. To our veterans in attendance, those that have come from faraway distant places to see the U.S. Kitty Hawk on its final voyage, as well as our local veterans that may have been on this ship at one point, I want to profoundly thank you for your service both then and now. Today we're witnessing history. While I am sad to see this ship come to its final resting place, I take some solace in knowing that it is in the right hands. The USS Kitty Hawk was one of the most prolific ships to roam the high seas. Because of its prowess, the United States was able to ward off communism and protect democratic regions of Asia and the world from dictatorship. Its performance at the height of the Vietnam War makes it one of the most important USS carriers that protected and contributed to world peace by maintaining the freedom of the seas and the air above. The Kitty Hawk was a force to be reckoned with, as its sailors and pilots aboard this massive ship defended our nation and its allies with proficiency and accuracy. So much so that in 1963, the USS Kitty Hawk became a floating White House for approximately 18 hours as President John F. Kennedy witnessed the first fleet and its technological capabilities and advancement in action. As a baby boomer, we witnessed firsthand the loss of life and the disturbing treatment of our heroes received when they came home. Many years later, we are still working on making this wrong a right. So as we cherish the moment, the memories that this amazing man-made piece of machinery has given us through the years, let us continue to be grateful for this great nation we live in. Because of our men and women in uniform. And let us be grateful once again to cherish an important piece of history right here in our backyard. Let us not forget the Kitty Hawk. God bless you all, and God bless the United States. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sofia. That was a very, very good speech. We appreciate that. I just saw one of my old friends walk in, one of our port commissioners, Mr. Ralph Cowan. I'd like to ask him to come up here and say a few words representing the Port of Brownsville today.
Good morning, and I want to thank, as a fellow veteran, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your service. They prepared a speech for me here, but I'd like to convey that I get a lump in my throat every time we bring a ship through here that's on its last, where it's going to its final resting place and goes out of service. But the good thing is that it's recycled and made into other ships and other things that we use every day all over our country. So, can you all hear me? Okay, let me get caught out there. Is that better? Okay, good. My name is Ralph Cowan, and I have the honor to serve as the Vice Chairman of the Brownsville Navigation District. I want to thank all of the veterans and all of those that served that are wherever you are, especially those of you that belong to the association that wanted this to be a museum. And I get a lump in my throat, and I tear up every time we've done this. I've seen it, the bosun do the whistle, and you know, it's a tough thing. And we'd like to welcome you now on behalf of the Port and the Navigation District Board of Commissioners. I'd like to thank, on behalf of the Port and the Brownsville Navigation Board of Commissioners, I'd like to thank International Shipbreaking Limited and Cameron County for sharing this historic occasion with us. We come together to observe the milestones that link our community. We show a renewed appreciation of the efforts that have brought us to this point. Ship recycling at the Port of Brownsville has long been one of our legacy industries at our port, providing generations of families with many opportunities to work. The ship recycling facilities at the port have anchored our reputation as the premier ship recycling port of the United States. The skilled hands within our shipyard have been entrusted to carry out the respectful disassembly of aircraft carriers and other naval vessels. Today, the arrival of the USS Kitty Hawk to our port after her 16,000-mile voyage is weighted with significance. For another 50 years, she was home to thousands of our armed service members, valiantly serving to protect our homeland and our nation's allies. The Kitty Hawk will join an exclusive and growing family as the 6th U.S. Naval aircraft carrier to make her final voyage and rest in peace here at the Port of Brownsville. It is a privilege afforded to a few to lay these distinguished vessels to rest with dignity. Since the 1990s, international shipbreaking has been a key member of our community, maintaining the highest standard environmental and health standards at their shipyard. And as they have done with the USS Ranger and USS Constellation in 2015 and the USS Independence in 2017, rest assured that the Kitty Hawk will be treated with respect and honor she deserves. The resilient American spirit of the Kitty Hawk will live in the memories of all of us, especially those who served alongside her. In her new role, she will join the legacy of other recycled ships who continue to serve as part of the Navy's new fleet in the production of modern conveniences used in our everyday life. As we continue our observance of Memorial Day, let us be united in this common goal, and let us recognize how blessed we are to be here today, and remember those brave men and women that never made it home. We honor their sacrifices and courage. Let us salute the Kitty Hawk, the embodiment of valor and duty, as we bid her farewell on her final voyage to the Port of Brownsville. I can tell you that the EMR will do a great job, a respectful job of taking care of the... Okay, sorry about that. I want you to know that they're going to treat the Kitty Hawk with great respect, and God bless you all that served and chipped and painted and tightened and loosened and recalibrated and and when necessary treated our enemies with much valor and aggression as we have. It's the Kitty Hawk is one of the reasons that the U.S. Navy, because of the U.S. Navy, we control all the oceans of the world. I don't believe any one country has been able to accomplish that fleet. It's no easy task. So again, it happened because of you guys and girls that served on that ship, the Kitty Hawk. Thank you, and God bless you, each and every one of you, and all your...
Thanks so much, Ralph.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Commissioner Cohen, for giving that beautiful speech. So now we have another distinguished guest. This is Constable Norman Ezekiel, Precinct 1. I'm a little selfish. He's protecting my home here, too. I trust him with it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, thank you, Mr. Green, for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of you men and women. It's an honor to be here, up here in front of you all. You all are heroes in my eyes, veterans who have served our country. My father's a veteran, my uncles, and I have nothing but respect. And in my eyes, you all are heroes. So thank you for what you've done for our country. Appreciate you all. A bunch of heroes around us. We're surrounded by a bunch of heroes. So any men and women in the audience who served on the USS Kitty Hawk? Yeah? Look around. Give them a round of applause. Thank you all for being here. This event is for you all right there. No better individuals but you all that are here who have served on this ship. So we appreciate your service for that. And all our veterans that are in attendance, thank you for being here as well. You all are heroes, like I said, so give a round of applause to you all as well. I want to thank God, of course, also for this opportunity. Beautiful day He blessed us with to celebrate this event. So, like I said, we're going to have a great time here together. And it's just, can't wait for this ship to come through here. And it's going to be a great event. And appreciate you all being out here. Thank you again for hosting this. Port of Brownsville, Cameron County, for allowing us to use the amphitheater for such a special event. So, again, thank you all for being here. And we love you guys. Thank you. Thank you much. Thank you.
Okay, well that ends our speaking list. We do, this whole ceremony was put on because the first carrier that we had come through, the USS Constellation, we had a lot of attention, of course, and a lot of people very interested, and we weren't able to plan anything for that one. The Ranger came through shortly after, and then we were able to approach the county and the Port of Brownsville and partner with them to have an event for the Independence, and we'll be doing this for the other ships that come through too. We'll have the JFK come in sometime towards the end of this year. So this event is just for you. This is why we're putting it on. We wanted you to have a good place to sit here and watch the mighty USS Kitty Hawk come through our jetty and make her way up to the Brownsville Ship Channel on their last voyage. And so what we're going to have now, while we wait some updates on our arrival, is we're going to have an open mic time. We've had some people put their name on a list that would like to say some things. I've heard a lot of good stories about the Kitty Hawk. I've seen some really good videos on YouTube. I really like the boot shoot. I thought that one was my favorite. And I know there's a ton of history that you guys could share that we would really like for you to come up and have an open mic time. Share just a couple of words about your time on the ship, something you want to say about the Kitty Hawk, or something you want to say about your fellow sailors. We'll start that off with a gentleman named Ricky Jones. He's our first on the list.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service. Thank you, sir.
awesome event these guys have put on for us. It's humbling, emotional day, right? I actually just wanted an open mic because my beautiful wife went on Amazon and found a flag for me that said USS Kitty Hawk Veteran. I brought this flag with me. I was wanting to fly it above the room because I had heard that the Pearl Hotel was going to set us up with a little conference get-together center for all of us and everything. So that was the intent, but this has turned into a calling. My request for open mic was to give everyone who has not had the opportunity to put your mark on the veteran flag to do so. And also, I'd like to further extend to anyone here that is to honor someone who has passed, who served on the Kitty Hawk. Get them on there too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jones. Our next name on the list is Robert Engelbert. And I just want to make sure everybody knows we have a sign-in list. We're going to be making challenge coins. We're going to be making pieces of the deck plate for commemorative purposes. And we can get your name on a list now, and we'll send out a mass email telling you where they're available. We'll also put that on Facebook. And we'll probably try to get one of the media outlets to publicize that too whenever those become available. Probably 2023, early 2023.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service.
Morning, shipmates and ship sisters. In the wee hours of June of '69, this little Hoosier teenager made his way to Sasebo, Japan, and found the Kitty Hawk at anchor. We put it on board and went out for my first line period. The biggest experience I had was, at the end, about 6 months later, I find myself as a fire watch standing underneath her. She was in dry dock in Bremerton as a fire watch, following my welder. I got to climb all through her, down into her keel, down into her different voids. Obviously that stuck with me. Go on in the rest of the cruises. And in 1972, when President Nixon had us mine the harbors, I got the picture of her, you could see Haifa, Hanoi on the horizon. So I know that they could see the Kitty Hawk. She was the furthest carrier north doing our mission. She went through some troubling times, but she was a good ship as far as I was concerned. And I just want to thank you all for allowing me to speak, for to be here. Thank you to the good people of Texas, and thank you to the shipyard for putting this on. Y'all have a safe journey home. Remembering the tugboat crew, they have to go home yet too. They had a long journey. Thank you, shipmates, and God bless everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Engelbert. Yes, we definitely need to be thinking about the crew on the Michelle Foss. She's the one that has brought her all the way around from Puget Sound. They changed crew out a couple of times, but this crew is going to be on a long leg of the voyage when they come in. And I would definitely like to thank Foss Maritime for doing an excellent job of taking care of the Kitty Hawk. Okay, our next name on the list is Joseph Hawk.
It was December of '89 when I stepped on the USS Kitty Hawk. Not only is she one of the best, baddest carriers out there, I consider her my mothership. That was my first command. I met her in Philadelphia, going through the SLEP program. After we left SLEP, we went down to Norfolk, loaded up, stayed in Norfolk for a couple of months, and then we made our trip around the Horn. Yes, we had fires, we had floodings. We were there, we kept her afloat. And to this very day, she'll always be my mother's ship. I want to thank all my previous sailors that have gone before me, that made me who I am today, a proud Kitty Hawk veteran. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hawk. Thanks for sharing your story with us. The next name on the list today is Mike Bush.
Hello, everyone. I want to be real quick. All of us have stories that we've been sharing this whole time and we share with each other. But how many of you have actually written them down? Write them down so that your family, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, who you may never even meet, know your story. It's really important. And it's not just the veterans that have stories, it's everyone. So everyone, parents, grandchildren, make sure that your parents, your veteran, writes down the stories, and also you can share those stories with the Kitty Hawk Veterans Association. They do collect them. So share your story, write it down. If you don't write it down and it dies with you, it's gone. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Bush. Oh, our next name on the list is a personal friend of mine, Bob Granada.
Hello, shipmates and good folks who made the time for a little closure here for the Kitty Hawk. I have been reminded of so many fun and interesting memories here from whoever played the Lee Greenwood song. Lee Greenwood came to the ship, and my memory says he claimed it was one of the first times he ever sang that song. And I didn't know anything about country music. I let some other guy go up and see him, and I stood watch down in main control running the boilers. And I missed it, but all these years it still gives me the chills when I think about Lee Greenwood coming out there and singing. And then the chaplain talked about that piece of a Japanese sub. That was the big legend for me. I arrived on the Kitty Hawk in '85, and she'd hit that Russian submarine and rolled it. And when they went to repair it, they pulled that piece of the prop out.
Yes, we did.
It sat in the wardroom as like a trophy. It was in the wardroom with our silver set and all our collectibles, and everybody talked about that piece of the prop. Cold War victory. We did the world cruise. It was hard, it was miserable, but I was in the Navy 21 years. It ended up 85 countries I got to see, and the Kitty Hawk was a chunk of that on the world cruise. Took it to SLEP, dropped it off, and I hope you guys who had it after SLEP that it was as good as when we brought her in, because she was a mean machine. Thank you very much for your service. Go Hawk.
Thank you very much, Bob. I just wanted to mention that one of the Signet Maritime tugs is now heading out. You can see her heading out. She's going to be one of the assist tugs that brings the Kitty Hawk in today. We should be getting some information here soon. I believe the pilots are heading out now, so they'll board and then they'll start her inbound, and we'll see her approaching for about an hour or so. I did have another request that as she approaches, which will be a good considerable amount of time, that everyone that is a veteran on board the USS Kitty Hawk could come up here to the stage and could take a group picture. We could take it from back by the auditorium and see if we can get a big picture of Kitty Hawk behind the veterans. And I love all these requests. This mic is open. So anything that you guys think we should be doing or that we could do to honor her, please come up and do it. We did have a gentleman that came all the way down, I believe from Minnesota, to play the bagpipes this morning, and he had to be rushed to the emergency room, so he'll be in our prayers today. He came down to honor the Kitty Hawk as a veteran and play the bagpipes for a final journey, and we had to call the EMS this morning when he was practicing. So he won't be able to join us today, but I wanted to mention that that was going to occur, and that he should be in our prayers. The next name on the list is Enrique Ramos. Mr. Ramos, are you here to speak? Here he comes.
Hey, how you doing?
I found this phone interesting.
Yeah, get away from me, man.
Please, go ahead.
All right, good morning. Nice to see everybody. This is a kind of a big privilege. I'm a Brownsville native, downtown, and over here in Montelongo. I have just a couple of things to say from here. Leaving from Brownsville, a couple of years ago, I always called this the 77. What I meant by this was that basically there's only one road out of Brownsville, the 77. And from that, I went different places, from East Coast to West Coast, around the world, and I was always kind of lucky. Coming back here, I see the old buddy. I see another guy, but he don't want to come up here. He's kind of big, shy, tall guy. But that was my old petty officer when I was a young seaman, and he was, my old buddy. But Montelongo here, he was the crazy one. He was always getting us in trouble and stuff like that. So I'm just proud to see him. God damn, I'm so glad to see this person. I know there's another gentleman out here from a group that I usually hang out with in San Diego. Mr. Shaw, if you're out there, I'm sorry I don't see you, but I know you're out here somewhere. Oh, there you are. Oh, okay, I see the old guys. Yeah. Yeah, so, Mr. Shaw, you're out there. Nice to see you around. Montelongo, I know it's up to you. I know you'll finish this up.
Yeah, how you doing? My name is Juan Montelongo. I'm born and raised here in the Valley, residing in Brownsville. Actually, originally from the southmost area. And as a young kid, the southmost kid went everywhere with these guys. We partied and we had fun. And I remember that when we were in the ship, I don't know if Duran remembers this, but we were in the ship and we were doing the replenishment, underway replenishment. And we were getting all the supplies, food and so on and so forth. Our captain, I think his name was Kozlowski, something to that effect.
Kozlowski.
Yes. He ordered, I remember he ordered pallets, several pallets of beer. And when we were transferring from the frigate to our ship, one of them fell. You should have seen all the sailors trying to jump overboard and save him. It was funny, but anyways, I remember that. I also remember the night when we went to, we were in a Persian Gulf, and we were told that,
Go, bro.
I was 19, sorry. And it was a hard night. When they told us that we were going to get ready for to send some airplanes out there. Yeah, that's enough. That became a man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing that with us. Let me just make a quick announcement. Is Joy Hartung here in the crowd? Joy Hartung? We found your phone and wallet in the bathroom.
No money?
Joey Hartung. That's what the name on the wallet is. We'll keep it. If anybody knows her, please tell her that I have it. Okay, our next name on the list is going to be Chuck Hargis.
It was quick.
Thank you so much for this. Thank you.
Hello, I went aboard Kitty Hawk in the spring of '65 and served until almost the end of November in '67. Most of the stories I could tell are not happy stories, so I want to tell you one that is a happy story. Okay, we were doing what we call ref tray, which is refresher training off the coast of Northern California. Our captain, who was Captain Carmody, lived in the Oakland area and decided he wanted to go in for some liberty in Alameda. So he called the harbor and said he was bringing the Kitty Hawk in, and they said, no, you can't come in because, first of all, you're too tall to get under the Golden Gate Bridge. Secondly, you're going to come in after hours, and all of our tugboat operators are civil service, and they will have all gone home, and we're not paying overtime. So the captain called me. At that time, I had 4 electronics and data system shops that I was in charge of. And there is the tallest thing on the ship is called the TACAN dome. It's a radar kind of thing. And he called me and he said, I need an estimate of how long it would take you guys to tip down the TACAN dome so we can make it under the bridge. And so I called my 4 shops and asked each one of them how long, and I came up with it. I called the captain back and I said, it's going to take us 12 hours to get that dome down where you can clear the bridge. And he said, no, that won't do. Excuse me. So he made an announcement. He said, we're going under the bridge. I have a plan. Anybody wants to watch, get up on deck. So I did. I got up on the deck and watched. He headed toward that ship at a full throttle, got almost to the ship, threw it into a hard turn so the mast went like that, turned under the bridge, popped it up on the other side, and then he called the harbor master and he said, I've cleared the bridge, so if you don't send out some tugs, I'm going to dock it myself. And harbor master didn't want him trying to dock in an aircraft carrier, so they met us with tugs and we got to have our weekend in Alameda. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hargis. It's a good story. I just saw some gentlemen some friends of mine that we've been working together ever since we got the award. False Maritime was one of the first companies that we contacted to possibly do the long tow. And Michael Loomis and Blair Teddy over here representing False Maritime today. They're ready to get a couple of their crew members off, take them to a nice dinner. They've been with us on all of the fuel stops, all the inspections. I know this is one of their very important projects, just like it's one of ours. And I think this is a very good day for them too, just like it is for us. Seeing her come in safely after such a long movement and such a long time being out under tow. So thank you very much, False Maritime, for taking good care of her. Okay, our next name on the list is Jessie Weisenhutt.
Just make sure you put your mic real close to it.
Okay. I ain't got much of a story. My son was born January 31st, 1996, and when he was 3 days old, we found... How about this? Okay, I don't have much of a story, but my son was born January 31st, 1996, and at 3 days old, we found that he had a hole in his heart, but the surgeon says we couldn't do surgery because we don't have enough blood. By the time I got back to the ship, they set up to donate the next day. The air wing came in the entire ship, and plus the air wing of over 5,000 people donated blood. So my son could have surgery. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Weisenhutt. Thank you very much. Our next name on the list is Neil Woodall. And that is the last name on the list. So please, if you'd like to come share your story after Mr. Woodall, then just come up to the microphone.
Okay.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you so much. My name is Neil Woodall. I was on the Kitty Hawk from December of '66 to October of '68, and worked on the flight deck. Was blue shirt, yellow shirt, and I remember our first USO I was aboard, Nancy Sinatra came aboard, and just wonderful memories. I'm now blessed living in Brownsville with my wonderful wife, Alice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Woodall. Oh, you did? I'm sorry. I didn't get that. Okay, come on up.
Sorry, I have another page that had a couple names on it. Mr. Dave, what's your
Gross is in distress.
Gross. Dave Gross is going to come up and tell a story for us. Thank you very much, Mr. Gross.
I got on the Kitty Hawk in '79 when I crossed deck from the Enterprise. At the end of the '81 cruise, instead of getting out, I extended till the end of the '84 cruise on the Kitty Hawk. Closer? Okay. And '81 and '84 were great cruises. I wrote this about the '84 cruise. We lived in the bowels of a cat-some called City, but we were served honors. She loved that damn kitty. She wore 63. She sailed the sea, protecting our shores. She keep your ass free. That feline flew killer birds off the back. We called it the roof, our nest of attack. I worked on the deck and I hung out and crashed. Fixed gear painted yellow, so maybe ate trashed. Was always on deck during launches and traps. We did it old school, needed no stinking apps. Cause we're the crew of the Kitty. We ride the back of a hawk. Red-tailed warriors, when we pitch, we don't balk. We may come off cocky cause we talk the talk. Yeah, we're the crew of the Kitty and we walk the walk. I waited for the call to jump in the Tilly. Bird on the ball, may not, but it's all silly. The crew started running, they grabbed and they pulled. The barricade rose to catch that damn bird. I jumped in that crane, ABHD, right at the wheel. Dale, adrenaline was flowing, that was the real deal. But our kitty caught tomcats like cherries catch clap. The blood pressure rose, the member grows, adrenaline starts peaking, and knees start to weaken, affirmation be seeking, finally fluids leaking. We were young, we were strong, working day and night long. 12 on and 12 off, jet exhaust we did cough. Cause we're the crew of the Kitty, we ride the back of the hawk. Red-tail warriors, when we pitch we don't balk. We may come off cocky cause we talk the talk. Yeah, we're the crew of the Kitty and we walk the walk. We laughed at the danger, talk shit of the ranger. No shit makes a stranger, and I wouldn't have changed her. So you keep your nukes and we'll take our kitty. And we will press on aboard our floating flying city. We will splash her bare if she opens Bombay, and we'll run her ass over if she get in the way. Just ask that Victor from the bump in the night. Took her damn prop, sailed off out of sight. Cause we're the crew of the Kitty, we ride the back of a hawk. Red-tailed warriors, when we pitch we don't balk. We may come off cocky cause we talk the talk. Yeah, we're the crew of the Kitty and we walk the walk. We steam, fly, and fight, take you out day or night. EQ's got you in sight, you won't see more than light. Cause the Hawkeyes done found you, the Tomcats will pound you. The Hornets will sting and the Phantoms will bring you to the Grim Reaper, be sure he will keep you. Cause we show no love and we own the sky. Rain death from above, don't give a shit why. Cause we're the crew of the Kitty, we ride the back of a hawk. Red-tailed warriors, when we pitch we don't balk. We may come off cocky cause we talk the talk. Yeah, we're the crew of the Kitty and we walk the walk. You're the crew of the Kitty and you walk the walk.
Wow, that was awesome. Mr. Gross, that was a very, very good poem. I appreciate you sharing that with us today. I'm sure everybody here enjoyed that as much as I did. So we have another name on the list, Jeff Patton. Please come up and share your story with us.
Good morning. I served on the Kitty Hawk on the 63-64 cruise, and we went to Vietnam the first time and aerial photographed North Vietnam, South Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia for the upcoming war. We were supposed to be there 30 days. Constellation had boiler trouble, and we sailed down there in circles and flew planes 24/7 for a little over 42 days. And the ship's company was awarded 2 medals prior to the Vietnam Medal. We all received meritorious service and national defense. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patton. I'd like to recognize another gentleman I just saw walking up. His name is Daniel Richardson. He is our NAVC representative that's been on site for the Constellation, the Ranger, and the Independence. Dan, we'd love you to come up and say a few words about this project, too.
Really appreciate everybody coming out today. I would like to sentiment one of the first guest speakers that the dismantlement and recycling of this aircraft will be done with honor, respect, and compliance. Thank you, and enjoy your day. Come on in, Kitty Hawk. Where's that battle cat?
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks, I got it caught him off guard there. So our next name on the list is Rich Orth.
I don't have much to say except they give me so much grief back there. I decided to come on up here anyway. I was a plank owner on the Kitty Hawk. If you're not familiar with that, a member of the first commissioning crew made its first tour around the Horn and the first Westpac. And then 48 years later, I got the opportunity to ride her on her last trip from San Diego up to Seattle. So because of the two, I figured I had to come to her funeral. So glad for everybody to see everybody here and wish her good luck.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing that with us. So now I'm just going to open this up. We don't have any more names on the list. But please, if there's something you'd like us to do, arrange for a group photo like we talked about earlier or something else. We're going to arrange the veterans in starting with the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000 as you go around the room so you can all get acquainted. And we're going to play a little bit of music. I'm going to get an update from our crew on board the ship, and I'll get back to the mic in a minute. Thank you. Excuse me, we've got a representative from the Warriors United in Arms, so he's going to tell you a little bit about the presentation they have here.
Thank you, sir.
In the building behind you, there's a flag encased in a frame. And like most of you guys that were in the Vietnam era, you came home to an ungrateful public. Well, this flag that we have encased up there happens to come out of the ambassador's office in Saigon. When they abandoned the embassy, the flag was left behind. A young Marine from right here on South Bonner Island dropped his arm and ran and took the flag away from them. We want you to see that flag. It's torn, it's stained, it's got bullet holes in it. They even urinated on it and they tried to burn it. But it was saved, and now we treat it with respect and honor the way that the veterans should be treated. So, if you get a chance, go by and see the flag. It's in the building. And the story of the flag is there for you to read. We invite you to look at that. And we also have a display of the local boys from Brazil that never came back from Vietnam. Thank you.